think to me, I think that is like a better description, right? And so she's the president and founder of Property Claim Specialist, and she's been a licensed public insurance adjuster in California and 9 other states. She has over 25 years of experience. She has dedicated her career to helping homeowners and businesses navigate the property claims process. She is a passionate advocate for property loss survivors affected by fire, water damage, and natural disasters, ensuring that they receive fair settlements from insurance companies. Her mission began after experiencing a fire at one of her investment properties, where she firsthand saw insurance companies can often undervalue claims. Since then, she has been committed to helping as many people as possible when disaster strikes. And today, Minerva is going to share valuable insights on when to hire an advocate and how to level the playing field during the claims process. And I will tell you, for Minerva, she actually helped my son Taylor. He's actually here online. He had water damage on in his property. He and his new bride at the time had sustained water damage. They hadn't even moved in the house yet, and they were on their honeymoon. And my son's an attorney, and it was still a fight with the insurance company. And so if it was hard for him, right, even as an attorney, imagine how much harder it is for just regular folk. All right. And so with that, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Miss Minerva Colbert. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Tanya. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who showed up for today's webinar. And I just want to share with you exactly what it is that a public insurance adjuster does and how we are able to help you navigate through the claim process. So let me just begin here. First I want to share, or I want to make the guess, I guess that everybody here who is on this webinar has either experienced a fire or knows somebody who has had a fire and they have a claim with an insurance company. So that is going to be who I'm speaking to today. Maybe you know somebody, maybe you've experienced, and if you're one of them that have experience, I am very sorry that you're going through this, because I know firsthand how difficult this process could be. It's very emotional, and there's a lot of questions that you may have today and don't have a lot of answers. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to answer those for you. So a brief introduction as to a role of a public insurance adjuster. Maybe you've never heard of a public adjuster, or maybe you have, but what we do is we advocate on behalf of an insured, a policyholder. And when you have a fire or any kind of property loss, you have the option to hire professional help. Like with anything, you also have the option to represent yourself. And I can share with you firsthand that going through a claim process, if you had a total loss, it is a very big claim. And so there is a reason why we exist as public adjusters and why the Department of Insurance in the state of California license us. And that's to keep the playing field level with the insurance companies. And that's because they are a business, right? They have shareholders, and they're a for-profit company. And more importantly, they don't represent you, the insured, because they get paid by the insurance companies, they're employees. So just to kind of set that straight, insurance companies are there for one thing only, and that's to pay you for your insurance claim. Now, let's see, what would be a reason why you would need a public insurance adjuster? If you have underpaid claims. So it is well known, I'm imagining you've heard of an insurance company devaluing a claim, whether that's property, a car accident, a medical insurance. There's always a problem of when insurance companies have to pay your claim. And that's a good reason why you want to have professional help from a public insurance adjuster. Claim denials. This happens often. some of the reasons why in a wildfire situation you may have a denial could be um, failure to mitigate the damage if you had smoke and soot and it wasn't a total loss. Also, fraud or misrepresentation could be one, and lack of maintenance or wear and tear. So those might be relevant to a wildfire situation. Complicated claim process. A large claim, such as a total loss, would be considered a large, complicated claim. And that's because it takes a team effort to really get you everything that you're entitled to that's within your insurance policy. And that's the key, knowing what your insurance policy states. So you can go through maybe 3 up to even 8 or more insurance adjusters in your claim from this wildfire. And that's pretty common. So having a public insurance adjuster representing you is going to be key and vital because we document everything. And that's something I want to relate to you. If you're doing this, documentation, documentation, documentation is so vitally important. A lack of time or knowledge could be a reason also. Listen, you've experienced a loss. Now you have the insurance claim process. You also have life, you have children, you have your normal day-to-day activities that is happening. And in addition to that, it's very emotional. So having your emotions involved when you're trying to create your reports and estimates and inventories could be very overwhelming and easy to miss many important things that your insurance company will need in order to pay you properly. So those are some of the reasons why having a public insurance adjuster and professional help is vitally important. A quick study in regards to one of our past wildfire clients that we had. Ernesto Orozco in 2020 had a total loss. Him and his family were displaced in the Berry Creek fires in Northern California. The insurance company refused to pay all of their policy limits, and they attempted to do this on their own. They did not know about public insurance adjusters, and when we were present and able to explain to them, as I am right now to you, they decided we need to get some help. And when we took over, we were able to properly document their claim, create all the reports necessary. And I'm sure, and this is where I'm going to elaborate on the most difficult one, which is your personal property. If you have already received an advancement from your insurance company, right now, the minimum that insurance companies are issuing as advancements to your personal property, if you had a total loss, is 30%. That's the minimum. We've heard of insurance companies advancing more, could be 50, could be 75%. But regardless of what it is, if they have not paid you 100% of your personal property, you as the homeowner, your duty in this whole process is to prove your damages. The burden of proof is on you. So that means if they're advancing you monies, if you want anything more than that advancement, you have to do one of two things. You either have to submit receipts of the replaced items that you have purchased with that advancement. And once you completed that advancement that they've issued you, then they're going to uh, give you additional advancements as you create your replacement value. The second way is to create an inventory from $1. And the replacement cost value should be at least anywhere from 70 to 80% in addition to your policy limits. And that's because the insurance company is going to depreciate high. They'll depreciate anywhere from 80%. So that means you have to exceed your policy limits in order for you to get 100% of your total loss inventory personal property limits. That's a lot of work. Okay. It takes a team to create the inventory. So for you to do it, and already having these emotional involvement is going to be very difficult, and it's a very tedious job. We can assist you with that. And then let me go forward with sharing. Lastly, let me make sure that I have, I just want to go over, you have various insurance limits. You have your building coverage, you have other structures, you have personal property, loss of use, or also called additional living expense. And in addition to this, you have sublimits or provisions of your policy. And a lot of the times, insurance companies don't share this with you. And the reason they don't share it with you, because again, it comes back to the policyholder. You have to know your insurance policy. You have to read it and you have to have an understanding. And when I say you have to read and have an understanding, that could be a difficult task. Even for us as professionals, it is very detailed. And if you don't do this day in and day out, you're not the expert. And you could only go so far with Google. And what you get with Google, we can do very quickly and more when you have representation. And I just want to share with you that getting a free review is essential. Getting a free unbiased review, which is what we could offer you without no obligations. And I think that would be something that would support you, help you have a peace of mind, because the worst thing that you can go through in a process like this is looking through the rear view mirror, guessing whether you got a fair settlement or not, guessing whether you got paid all of your limits, and you may not know them all. So that's the reason for you to have some help, or at least get a free consultation. We are here to help you. We want to make sure that you receive everything that you're entitled to. I've experienced a fire, as mentioned by Tanya, and I learned through that process the ins and outs as an insured, how insurance companies treat their insureds. And it's very sad. Again, these insurance adjusters, they're not bad people, but they're employees. They do what they're trained to, and that is to minimize claims. Don't underestimate your adjuster, who's very nice and brings these checks to you quickly, because at the end of the day, they're going to do what their employer says, and they don't make the final decisions. That's the truth. They still have to go to a supervisor, get authorization, and that really affects the outcome of your claim. So I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate your time. And if you have any questions, I believe we're going to have questions and answers at the end of this webinar, and we will be here between me and my business partner, Glennis Romero Hargreaves. She has over 30 years of experience doing this, also working with the insurance. So we have an advantage. You will be well taken care of, and we appreciate you and your time. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Minerva. And like she said, we are going to have a Q&A after